One of the biggest lessons that I've learned homeschooling my daughter with PDA is this. Sometimes the lesson isn't what needs changing, my approach is. If you've ever felt torn between following your curriculum faithfully and responding to your child's needs, then this video is for you. Today, I want to share one small adjustment that I've made in our Charlotte Mason homeschool that probably looks insignificant from the outside, but it has made a huge difference for us. Hey everyone, if you're new here, I'm Sarah and I share about Charlotte Mason homeschooling, raising a child with PDA and having a neurospicy kind of family and finding gentle ways to honor both the philosophy of Charlotte Mason while teaching the child in front of us. One thing that Charlotte Mason constantly reminds us is that children are born persons. That means that you're teaching a real person. You're not simply completing pages in a workbook and ticking it off. And sometimes the child that comes to the table is neurodivergent or neurospicy, as we call it in our household. And maybe they're carrying a little bit more anxiety than usual. Most days, my daughter writes beautifully. She knows her upper and her lowercase letters, but on days when her anxiety is that little bit higher, or I'm introducing something that's new, or she's feeling uncertain, then something interesting starts happening. She starts writing everything in capital letters. At first glance, it looks like she might have forgotten this skill. Or maybe she's being careless, or she's just refusing to do it properly. But that's not what's happening here. Those capital letters are familiar to her. They're predictable. They were the first letters that she mastered when we were beginning learning how to write. And so for her, they feel really safe. It's almost like a security blanket or a security anchor for her in her handwriting. So in this instance, when the rest of the day feels uncertain, her handwriting becomes something that she can control. Years ago, I might have corrected every time she changed from lowercase to uppercase. I might have stopped her. I might have asked her to erase it, had her rewrite it, because technically, that's not how the copywork is written. But now, I usually let it slide. Not because handwriting doesn't matter, not because expectations don't matter. I let it slide because I know something really important. She already knows how. So this isn't a handwriting problem. It's not a comprehension problem. It's not a lack of effort. It's anxiety. And those are totally different things. If I insist on perfect lowercase letters in that moment, I'm no longer teaching handwriting. What I'm doing is I'm asking her nervous system to do more than it actually can in that moment. And honestly, that's not a hill I want to die on. Charlotte Mason often talked about knowing the child, teaching the child. It's one of the main pillars of her philosophy. It's not about simply knowing the lesson. And I think that's incredibly important to remember when we're homeschooling a child with PDA. So we ask ourselves, what's the purpose of today's lesson? If today's lesson is copywork, then the goal is careful attention, beautiful language, developing habits, practicing handwriting, and she still is doing those things. Whether the letters happen to be upper or lowercase on that particular day, it doesn't change the heart of the lesson. Tomorrow, when she feels more regulated again, she naturally goes back to using the lowercase letters. No lectures are required, no corrections, and no battles unnecessarily fought. I think it's really important to clarify that this isn't about lowering my expectations. It's about knowing which expectation actually matters. If my daughter genuinely couldn't write lowercase letters, then that would be something that we'd need to teach. But that isn't our situation. She absolutely can write lowercase letters. Her anxiety is simply borrowing something familiar while she feels overwhelmed. When we understand the why behind the behavior, our response to it changes. One of the greatest gifts of homeschooling for me has been the flip in my thinking. And that's what I call it, flipping my thinking. Going from my child can't do this to flipping my thinking to my child can't do this today. They are very different statements. And that little word, today, has changed so much in our homeschool. because anxiety today does not define her ability tomorrow. If you have a child with PDA or a child who struggles with anxiety, I just want to encourage you to become a student of your child. Notice the little things. Notice what they do when they're starting to become overwhelmed. Notice where they naturally reach for a sense of safety. Sometimes those behaviors aren't defiance at all. Sometimes they're communication. And when we understand what our child is trying to communicate to us, we can respond with wisdom instead of frustration. I'd love to hear from you. Does your child have a security anchor like mine does? Something they naturally turn towards when life feels a bit overwhelming? Share it in the comments below. I think hearing one another's experiences is one of the best ways that we can encourage one another. If you enjoy videos about Charlotte Mason homeschooling, gentle education, and navigating homeschool life with a neurospicy child or a child with PDA, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.